In recent weeks, a wave of excitement, confusion, and hope has swept across millions of Americans who rely on Social Security, SSDI, SSI, and VA benefits. The spark? A widely circulated rumor about a potential $5,000 stimulus check making its way to eligible recipients. The phrase "you included" has been trending on social media, in YouTube comment sections, and in senior advocacy circles as beneficiaries search for answers and clarity. For many, this figure isn't just another number, it's a lifeline, a breath of financial relief that could help bridge the widening gap between rising costs and fixed incomes. But is there really a $5,000 stimulus check coming for Social Security recipients? Or is this just another example of internet speculation and misinterpreted political proposals creating a mirage of hope for those in desperate need? To understand this, we need to take a deep dive into the facts, the context, the political climate, and the real economic situation currently unfolding in the United States. First, let's examine where this idea of a $5,000 stimulus payment originated. The buzz appears to have been ignited by a mix of social media posts, YouTube videos, and some misleading headlines that exaggerated or misunderstood comments made by lawmakers and economists about future relief measures. In truth, no official legislation has been passed or even introduced that guarantees a $5,000 payment to beneficiaries of Social Security, SSDI, SSI, or VA programs. However, there have been proposals in the past, particularly during the height of the pandemic, where lawmakers floated the idea of recurring payments or one-time economic relief directed at the most vulnerable citizens, many of whom are older adults, people with disabilities, and veterans. While the dollar amount varied in those proposals, the $5,000 figure seems to be a symbolic number reflecting what many feel they truly need to offset inflation and financial strain. The United States is still grappling with the aftershocks of the COVID-19 pandemic, both economically and socially. While the economy has shown signs of recovery in some sectors, many Americans on fixed incomes are finding it increasingly difficult to keep up. Rent, groceries, utilities, and prescription medications have all risen in cost, while the monthly checks for many Social Security and disability recipients have only modestly increased through cost of living adjustments, or COLAs. In 2025, the announced COLA was approximately 2.5%, which many argue is far from sufficient to cover the actual increase in day-to-day living expenses. For someone receiving $1,200 per month, that COLA equates to about $30 more per month, not even enough to cover the increase in rent or the rising cost of medication. In this context, the idea of a one-time, substantial $5,000 relief check is not just appealing, it's seen by many as a matter of survival. There's also the political backdrop to consider. With the 2024 presidential election still fresh in memory and the 2026 midterm elections already being strategized, both political parties are looking for ways to appeal to senior voters, veterans, and those living with disabilities. These groups represent a powerful voting bloc and are particularly engaged in issues related to economic relief, healthcare, and retirement security. Some lawmakers, aware of this, have made broad comments about doing more for seniors or exploring additional relief options, which are often interpreted or presented online as being more definitive than they actually are. It's important to understand that, in Washington, the gap between political rhetoric and past legislation can be wide. While a senator or representative may express support for a proposal like a $5,000 stimulus, the actual passage of such a measure requires bipartisan support, budgetary alignment, and executive approval. As of today, no such bill is scheduled for a vote in Congress. Despite this, there is a very real sense among the American public, especially the elderly and disabled, that more help is needed. The Social Security Administration continues to report that over 50% of recipients rely on their monthly benefit as their primary or sole source of income. For veterans relying on VA benefits or individuals receiving SSI due to disability, the financial picture is often even more strained. The pandemic wiped out savings for many, delayed necessary health care, and increased reliance on credit and loans. A stimulus check, especially one as large as $5,000, could not only provide immediate relief but also allow people to pay off debts, catch up on bills, and possibly afford important home repairs or medical treatments. The need is clear, the question remains whether the political will exists to meet that need. One reason this rumor has gained so much traction is because of the continued presence of economic uncertainty. Inflation, while slowing compared to its peak in 2022, still hovers at levels that are noticeably affecting grocery store shelves, pharmacy counters, and monthly utility bills. Meanwhile, housing costs continue to rise, with rent increases particularly hitting those who are not homeowners. At the same time, Medicare premiums have risen, and prescription drug costs have only marginally come down despite new policy efforts. In this environment, any discussion of new financial support is immediately met with intense interest from those struggling to keep up. Many beneficiaries have written to their lawmakers, called local offices, and even signed petitions demanding targeted economic relief. The idea of being included in a possible $5,000 payout has become a symbol of long overdue recognition and support. YouTube creators, social media influencers, and even some online news outlets have contributed to the surge in curiosity and confusion. Titles like $5,000 check approved? Or seniors getting big surprise this month generate massive engagement but often lack the nuance or factual basis needed to help viewers truly understand the situation. While the intention may sometimes be to provide hope or advocacy, the result can be a false sense of certainty. This has led the Social Security Administration and several nonprofit senior advocacy groups to issue statements urging caution and encouraging individuals to verify information through official channels. It's always wise to check SSA.gov or consult with a benefits advisor before making any financial decisions based on viral content. The concept of a $5,000 payment may also have roots in earlier stimulus efforts. During the pandemic, the U.S. government issued multiple rounds of direct payments, ranging from $600 to $14 per person, with eligibility based on income. While those checks were welcomed by many, seniors and individuals with disabilities often found them insufficient given their unique financial constraints. Moreover, the complicated process of eligibility verification, direct deposit errors, and communication breakdowns meant that not everyone who was supposed to receive a stimulus did so on time or at all. For some, that experience left a lingering feeling that the system does not adequately prioritize or support them. In that context, the idea of a larger, more impactful payment like $5,000 feels not only appropriate but necessary. As Congress continues to debate the federal budget, Social Security funding, and long-term economic policies, there may still be room for targeted relief proposals in the future. Some lawmakers have suggested using surplus funds or redirecting unspent pandemic relief money to support vulnerable Americans. Others argue that any new spending must be matched by cuts or increased revenue, which makes large direct payments less likely unless the economy takes another sharp downturn. Still, public pressure can move the needle. If enough constituents demand action and if advocacy groups continue to press the issue, it's possible that some form of relief could be structured, though it may not reach the full $5,000 many are hoping for. What should you do if you rely on Social Security, SSDI, SSI, or VA benefits and are holding out hope for this payment? First, remain cautious about any unofficial claims. Scams are unfortunately common, especially targeting older adults. Never provide your Social Security number, banking information, or personal details to someone promising a check. Always go directly to government websites or trusted news outlets to verify any breaking news. Secondly, it's wise to manage your finances conservatively and avoid making plans that depend on money you haven't yet received. And finally, consider joining advocacy efforts or contacting your local representatives to voice your concerns. Grassroots action has led to change before, and it can again. In the meantime, while we wait to see whether any formal legislation emerges, there are some resources available for those in need. Local nonprofits, state assistance programs, and food banks can help bridge the gap. Some utility companies offer discount programs for seniors, and Medicare also provides savings programs that many people don't know they qualify for. If you haven't already, reach out to a local area agency on aging or a benefits counselor who can help you navigate available support. You may not be able to count on a $5,000 check tomorrow, but you might discover assistance you didn't know was already within reach. So where does all of this leave us? The idea of a $5,000 stimulus check for Social Security, SSDI, SSI, and VA recipients has become a powerful symbol of the growing divide between rising living costs and the stagnant benefits many rely on. While no such payment is officially on the way right now, the public's intense interest in this possibility reflects real, urgent needs. Seniors, veterans, and people with disabilities deserve more than vague promises or viral headlines. They deserve transparency, action, and the security of knowing they won't be left behind. Whether or not a $5,000 stimulus check ever materializes, The message from millions of Americans is loud and clear: the system needs to do more, and it needs to do it now. As always, we will continue to monitor the situation and provide updates from official sources. If anything changes, if a bill is introduced, if a payment is approved, or if new eligibility rules are announced, we'll be here to break it down and help you understand what it means for you. Until then, stay informed, stay safe, and never stop advocating for the dignity and support you deserve.